My name is Venerable Kamsu Kandichara. I am a second year student of SSBU. It is my great honor and pleasure to serve as the Master of Ceremony for Section 2 of the 11th International on the Endeavours of Prominent Figures in Teaching and Practicing Buddhism. This section is being held in honor of the 60th birthday celebration of the Most Venerable Professor Dr. Dhammasami, the founder and rector of Shan State Buddhist University, who has dedicated his life to the propagation and practice of the Buddha teaching. The moderator for this section 2 is Venerable Dr. Binyaboka Pipala Hung Sang, a scholar with deep insight into Buddhist teaching. In addition, we are truly fortunate to have 3 distinguished speakers. Their presentation will further illuminates the themes of this conference. They are Venerable Professor Dr. Jandamukha, Dr. Dinai Win, and Sayaji Professor Dr. Yusana Nyani. Now, please allow me to read the short biography of our eminent moderator, Venerable Dr. Binyaboka Pibala Hung Sang. Venerable has an extensive academic background in Buddhist studies. He was awarded the Priyati Sattama Bala Dhammasariya in 2001 and the Sasanatasa Dhammasariya degree in 2002. He later earned the Master of Arts in Pali and Buddhist Studies from the Postgraduate Institute of Pali and Buddhist Studies at Kelaniya University, Sri Lanka in 2006. Moreover, in 2020, he completed his PhD in Buddhist textual study at Mahidol University in Thailand with a thesis focused on Burmese Buddhist textual transmission. Venerable Dr. Binyaboka Pipala is fluent in multiple languages, including Shan, Burmese, English, Korean, and Thai. He has shared his knowledge widely through teaching, writing, and international conference. Besides, he has served as a lecturer at various Buddhist institutes in Myanmar and beyond, including Sri Lanka, Korea, and Indonesia. His meditation practice has been deeply influenced by renowned Myanmar Sayadaws and the teachings of S.N. Goenka. Currently, Venerable holds several academic positions, including lecturer in Abhidhamma and head of the Department of Tipitaka Studies at Shan State Buddhist University, where he is also the director of the SSBU Library and acting dean of academic affairs. Respected Venerable Sir, we are grateful to have you with us today. Without further delay, it is my great honor to humbly invite Venerable Dr. Binyaboka Pipala Hung Sang to take the stage and moderate this section 2. Dear Venerable Sir, now the stage is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, MC Sayadaw, for introduction of myself. Okay, without further delay, we are about 20 minutes delayed. So in this section, the people are presenting section number 2. So we have 3 speakers. All of them are professors. Okay, from my left side, Venerable Professor Dr. Jandamukha. He is going to present the Endeavour of Ancient Silananda Bhikkhu, the first rector Sayadaw of the International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University in teaching and practicing Theravada Buddhism. And next, the second speaker, also from my left side, Professor Dr. Dinai Win. He is going to present the 60 years old, 600 plus tasks, meaningful life and meaningful work of Oxford Sayadaw. And may I also invite Professor Sayaji, Dr. Yusana Nyani. She is going to present the endeavor of the Most Venerable Rector Sayadaw, Dr. Nandamala Piwansa, the prominent figure in propagating Buddhism in Myanmar and beyond. The first speaker will be the Venerable Professor Dr. Chandramukha. Before he is reading the paper on the professor, the first rector of Sayadaw International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University, Sayadaw Ajahn Silananda Biyonsa, I would like to introduce briefly the biography of the Professor Dr. Chandramukha. Venerable Chandramukha has so many academic events at the SSBU. Last year also he presented the paper. The Venerable Dr. Chandramukha was from in Dongkwa, Yangon region, Myanmar. The Venerable received higher ordination to become a Buddhist monk, higher ordination under the preceptorship of Padanda Okata Piwansa, the abbot of Pariyati Monastery located in Dongkwa Township. 1994, the Venerable earned the Sasanataja Dhamacharya and Vinaya Vidu degree from the Ministry of Religious Affairs, Myanmar, 1996 and 1999 respectively. And Venerable also earned PhD in Buddha Dhamma degree in 2013 from International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University, Yangon. The Venerable started to serve as an academic staff at the ITPMU from 2003, and currently the Venerable is serving as a professor at the same university. Venerable Professor Dr. Chandramukha, the floor is yours, please.
Good morning, Venerable member of the Sangha, and also ladies and gentlemen. So first of all, I would like to say Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. And then I would like to say happy birthday to our most venerable Rector Sayadaw, Venerable Dr. Kamai Dhammasami, for his 60th anniversary. So, and then I would like to continue to present about the first Rector Sayadaw, Venerable Dr. Silananda Biyonsa. So, about his endeavor in teachings and practicing Theravada Buddhism. So, the picture, this is the picture of the Venerable, our first ever Rector Sayadaw of ITPMU, International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University. So in this presentation, firstly, I would like to say that I'm sorry because I didn't prepare PowerPoint for your convenience. So, but rather I was trying to cover all my writings, so in this allotted time. So firstly, I would like to explain the content of my presentation. First one is, number one is about the appearance of the Buddha. How did the Buddha appear in the world? And also, what did the Buddha do for the world? And then after that, the important role of the Sangha in preserving, in practicing Theravada Buddhism. And also lastly, I was trying to explain the endeavor of the Venerable Silananda Biyonsa. So with regard to his teaching, literary works, as well as his meditation teachings. So and then it will be, the paper will be concluded. So I think, as you all know, the Buddha appeared in the world. So regarding the appearance of the Buddha in the world, in the Anguttara Nikaya, they are mentioned that Eka Bogalo Bhikkhave Loki Obajamano Obajati Bhojana Hidaya Bhojana Sukhaya Loka Nugambaya Ataya Hidaya Sukhaya Dewa Manusana Tathagata Arahant Samma Sambuddha. So the appearance of a person makes the world more happier and also more healthier, more beneficial. That is the appearance of the Tathagata or the enlightened person. So this is the word mentioned in the Anguttara Nikaya, Ekapukkala Vagga. So as we all know, the appearance of the Buddha in the world was one of the most significant events in this Buddhist cosmology, as his birth was not seen as an ordinary occurrence, but as the manifestation of an enlightened person. So according to tradition, it is said that the Buddha was born in Lumbini as a Siddhartha Gautama, destined to attain enlightenment and liberate sentient beings from suffering. His appearance in the world is celebrated in various Buddhist texts, which describes miraculous signs accompanying his birth, such as earthquake, earth shaking, the appearance of the lotuses and radiance of the lights that feed the world. These symbols reflect the profound significance of his presence as a world teacher. The Buddha's appearance, according to the canonical texts, not only brought a new dimension to the spiritual landscape of ancient India, but also offered a new path to the liberation through the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Noble Path. His teachings, born out of his personal experience of enlightenment, were evolutionary in guiding individuals towards understanding the nature of suffering and the cessation of suffering. The Buddha's life became a model for countless generations of the practitioners, emphasizing the possibility of overcoming ignorance, greed, and delusion through disciplined practice and moral conduct. His emergence in the world therefore holds a central place in Buddhist history, philosophy, and culture. So the Buddha, after the appearance of the Buddha, so basically what did the Buddha do for the world is the Buddha preached the Dhamma. Basically the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path that makes people alleviated from the existential sufferings, as well as made them liberated from the round of sufferings. So apart from the teachings of the Dhamma, something which is equally significant is the establishment of the monastic community known as the Sangha, which institutionalized his teachings, ensured their preservation and propagation. So the Sangha became a model of ethical living and meditative discipline, playing a vital role in spreading the Dhamma throughout the Asia and later throughout the world. So through the monastic code, the Buddha created a stable, enduring community that not only practiced his teachings, but also safeguarded the transmission of the Dhamma across the generation. The Sangha continues to be cornerstone of the global Buddhist community. So, with this word, I would like to say is that in previous the Buddha appeared in the world for the benefit of the people, for the benefit of all sentient beings. What did the Buddha do is he preached the Dhamma as well as he established the Sangha. In the establishment of the Sangha order, The duty of the Sangha is, the first thing is to practice as guided by the Buddha. And then another duty is to preserve the teachings of the Buddha, known as the Dhamma, and also to propagate his teachings. So in order to practice, in order to preserve, or if we simply say, in order to become the Sāvaka Sangha, we have two things to do. Number one is to have a pure view. Number two is to have a pure virtue. So view and virtues are two most important things to recognize ourselves as the Sāvaka Sangha, as well as to proclaim ourselves that we are following the teachings of the Buddha, and also we are preserving the teachings of the Buddha. So with that purpose in mind, the Sangha throughout the generations trying to purify their views, so also trying to purify their virtues. They trying to maintain the purity of the views and virtue. So to maintain the purity of the virtue, we have to follow the monastic disciplines. Do's and don'ts are there. So by following the Buddha's Charita and Varita Sila, so we can have a pure morality or pure virtue. With regard to the purity of the view, Sanghas throughout the generation, they try to emphasize on two things. Number one is they need to study, they need to know the root meaning, the real meaning of the words. So that can be carried out through the study of the Pali grammars, or in Myanmar we say Dada. So through the study of the grammars, Pali grammars, so we can understand what the word really means. And also, grammar alone may not serve the main purpose. Then what they have to study more is about the Abhidhamma. That's why if you see in the monastic tradition, monastic education systems, we paid much emphasis on the study of the grammar, also study of the Abhidhamma. So they do straighten our views through the help of the grammar, through the help of the grammatical understanding. So we can have a better understanding of the true meanings of the Buddha's words. And also, with the help of the Abhidhamma knowledge, we can interpret it rightly as the Buddha is meant to be. So that's why these two things are very important. So for the straightening of our views. So with that understanding, the Sangha throughout the generation, they try to preserve the teachings of the Buddha. And they try to practice the teachings of the as guided by the Buddha. And also they try to preserve the teachings throughout the generations. And also they try to propagate. Otherwise, if we misinterpret or misunderstand the teachings of the Buddha, then our practice will be wrong. And then our preservation, the thing we preserve will not be very good, will not be fruitful. Rather, it will be harmful to our spiritual growth. And also, it will be dangerous to other people. so much less to propagate the true teachings of the Buddha. That's why the Sangha throughout the generation, they try to preserve the teachings of the Buddha, and also they try to practice for themselves and then preserve the teachings of the Buddha and then propagate. So regarding the propagation of the Buddha's Dhamma and the practice of the Buddha's Dhamma, so here I highlighted 2 points. One thing is through the literary works, that is Pariyati. So under the Dhamma Pariyati we can include studying, teaching, and also giving lectures, and also giving a kind of the courses and so on. So also writing the literatures. So here in my paper, and in order to save the time, I will not read all the things written here. So throughout the generation, Myanmar monastic community, they try to make a greatest effort to produce literary works on Buddhism, and also to share Buddhist meditation practices, as we have witnessed in this morning through the presentation of the previous 2 speakers about the Lady Sayadaw and also about the Mahasi Sayadaw. So in this way, apart from then, Mogo Sayadaw also made the greatest contribution to the meditation practice, as well as currently Phao Sayadaw. He is still making greatest effort, even regardless of his age. He makes a tireless effort for the practicing of the Buddhist meditation. So now, in this way, the monastic community, members of the monastic community, they try to make endeavors from generation to generation for the preservation, also for the propagation of the Buddha's teaching. So with regard to the Venerable Silananda Bhivansa, the first ever Rector Sayadaw of the ITPMU, so he also followed the footsteps of the Asian masters. So by making greatest endeavor by producing literary works on Buddhism, as well as by teaching, meditation, also by giving courses on Buddhism. So I would like to highlight some of his literary works. So through this we can understand how he tried to maintain the teachings of the Buddha, trying to preserve the teachings of the Buddha, and also propagate Buddha's teaching. So under the contribution of the literary works on Buddhism, there is I'm trying to highlight comparative study, his literary works on the comparative study of Sadaniti Dhatu Mala and Paniniya Dhatu Bhatha. With that, I would like to express that. So Venerable Silananda Bhivansa's literary works, so his way of preserving the Buddha's teaching is comparatively more successful than the other people, other masters. One of the reasons is that he knows where he is expert in the Bhasandara. So most of the Asian teachers, they are very expert only in their own language, that is Magadha, Pali language. So, but significant to Venerable Silananda Bhivansa is he is not only expert in the Magadha, Pali language, but also he is expert in the Sanskrit, Prakrit, Adam Magadhi as well. So that is we can simply say the word Bhasandara. So he is skillful in the Bhasandara. That's why he can contribute such a work like a sudden comparative study of a Sadaniti Dhatu Mala and also Paniniya Dhatu Bhatha. So not only he is skillful in the Bhasandara, but also he is skillful in the Samayandara. Samayandara is a Pali word. We can interpret into English as what different views, different ideologies, different philosophies. So this can be witnessed through his works of the Vajja Vayawa Vanana. So this book is written by the Venerable Silananda Bhiwansa on the request of the Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. So even Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw interested him. So his expertise on the other, not only other literature, but also other ideology, philosophies, so Hindu, Indian philosophies and logics. So that book is witnessing that Venerable Silananda Bhiwansa is not only skillful in the Vasandara, but also skillful in the Samayandara. So apart from this Vajja Vayawa Vanana, there are many other treatises Venerable Silananda Bhiwansa translated into Myanmar and explained. That is Sanskrit text, Sanskrit logic, regarding the philosophy and the logic and so on. So that makes him more significant than the other scholars. So not only he don't keep as his own understanding, but also he make it available to those who are not very skillful in these other languages as well as other philosophies. Apart from them, one of the another significance of the Venerable Silananda Bhiwansa is that he is skillful in the Sikkhandara. Actually, this word is I invented. This word, the meaning I would like to convey to you is that. So when I read about the Venerable Silananda Bhiwansa, one day in America, in the Bay Area, on the Bawarana day, he met with the many other monastery members from Myanmar. And then in that assembly, he gave an address that he encouraged his colleagues in that trying to understand not only English language, but also others' culture. Without understanding different cultures of the other people, the culture of the other people, it will be very difficult to propagate, to deliver our message to them. So that's why through this writing, we can understand that Venerable Silananda Bhiwansa is not only skillful in the Vasandara, Samayandara, but also skillful in the Sikkhandara. I just use the word culture for the Pali word Sikha. Sikha is a kind of practice. So Sikkhandara also, he is very clever, very expert in the Sikkhandara. That's why he can share his knowledge with the other people who belong to different cultures. So if Buddha teaching become more adaptable to them, if we convey the Buddha's message to those who have a different culture. So if we don't understand their culture, there may be sometimes aggressive, our words will be very aggressive to them. So that's why it is also one of the significant points with which Venerable Silananda Bhiwansa make a great endeavor for the propagation, also preservation, also teachings and practice of the Buddhism. So if we go to save the die, if we go to the conclusion, there we can Shan Silananda Bhiwansa's unparalleled contribution at the first ever Rector Sayadaw of the IDBMU underscore his embodiment of the Pariyatti and Patipatti. His endeavors seamlessly integrated traditional Buddhist education with the modern academic Buddhist practices. ensuring that the teachings of the Buddha were preserved, studied, and practiced in depth. This dual approach benefited both monastic and lay communities, making complex doctrinal teachings comprehensible and relevant, while maintaining the authenticity and the essence of the Buddha's message. His work reflected a harmonious blend of pure views and unwavering virtue in every aspect of his scholarship. The scope of the Shan Silananda Bhikkhu's achievement extended beyond Myanmar as he effectively navigated various languages Bhasandara, accommodating diverse linguistic needs through the translation and teachings in Pali, Sanskrit, and other languages. His engagement with the different views, Samayandara, showed his adeptness at addressing multiple interpretations within Buddhist traditions, enriching the study of Buddhism for a global audience. Moreover, his sensitivity to different cultures, Sikkhandara, enabled him to teach and mentor international students, emphasizing that the essence of the Dhamma transcends cultural and geographical boundaries. His deep understanding of the cultural nuances allowed him to tailor his teachings for diverse audiences without losing their core values. Ultimately, Venerable Silananda Bhikkhu's dedication to teaching, prolific literary contributions, and promotion of the meditation stands as the testament to his commitment to the Dhamma. His legacy serves as the bridge between traditional and modern approaches to Buddhist education, creating a model that unites rigorous study with a mindful practice. He remains a guiding light, inspiring both current and future generations to uphold the purity of the teachings and practice, embodying the profound unity of the wisdom, virtue, and compassionate outreach that defines the Theravada tradition. Thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Venerable Professor Sandamuka, for presenting a very wonderful and also interesting the endeavor of the first Rector Sayadaw, Ajahn Silananda Bhikkhu. And now we would like to open for Q&A only for 2 questions regarding the first Rector Sayadaw. Actually, the Venerable Sandamuka has presented the contribution of the first Rector Sayadaw in terms of teaching and practice, texture study. He is the expert of the texture study and also the leadership of the ITBMU during the foundation periods, and also Myanmar monastic community in terms of the practice of meditation and the language skills, etc. Okay, now without delay, to be fair with the other people present, I would like to open Q&A, please. If you have any question, comments regarding the first Rector Sayadaw.
My name is Ukema Sara from Ramanyaratha Buddhist University in Mon State. So in order to ask a question, I want to know that about the idea and your opinion. As Dr. Ajahn Silananda Bhikkhu, he practiced his teaching and his practicing for our daily life. So to maintain his teaching and practicing, how do we apply in our daily life as the university perspective? So I want to know that your idea and opinion. How can we maintain his teaching hand to hand? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Venerable Kimachara, for your question. And so as far as I understand, through the reading of the about the Venerable Silananda Bhikkhu, so the way he practiced Buddha's teaching, and also the way he preserved the Buddha's teaching is trying to understand the Buddha's words as truly as possible. So otherwise, if our understanding is wrong or misinterpreted, then our practice will be wrong. So will not be very helpful for us. Also will not be helpful for the others as well. That's why, so through the reading, so that is one of my understanding about the Venerable Silananda Viwansa. So he emphasized, he put much emphasis on the correct meaning of the words of the Buddha. So maybe sometime we read a kind of Pali text, we don't understand, and then we try to pick up the translation books and then read, and then maybe don't end up with that translation alone, because that can give you wrong sense about the Buddha's teaching. So then it will lead you to the wrong way. That's why the Sayadaw through his writing also, we can understand that he put much emphasis on the true meaning of the words, firstly, and also through our encounter, so as a past Rector Sayadaw or the Buddha, we work together, or we work under his guidance as well. So he is very much concentrated on everything he do. So that's why we have to pay everything very close attention to understand as they really are. So that is also one of the way to practice Buddha's teaching as Venerable Silananda did. Thank you.
Thank you, Sayadaw. My name is Jawana. So I would like to ask about Venerable Silananda Viwansa and about his teaching of Satipatthana. And so you mentioned in your presentations of about linguistic to understand. So how to understand their culture to promote the sasana? Thank you.
How to understand the culture of the audience? Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, thank you. Thank you, Venerable Jawana, is it right? Am I correct? Your name is Venerable Jawana. Okay. Yes. So, yes, understanding the culture or the audience is tremendously important when we impart our Buddha's message to them. So, without understanding their culture, then some of the words, usage we use to convey our message to them may be insulting. So, to their heart, to their mind, to their soul as well. So that's why we have to pay a very close attention. So one of the that is not a new thing. So the Buddha also practiced like this. This is the way what the Buddha practiced. So when one day the Buddha visited to the Brahmin, so he is a farmer. Other than he trying to know the way the farmer did, okay, and also his when he convey his Dhamma message to the farmer, Brahmin farmer, then he trying to say, the Brahmin farmer, if you want to get a food, then you have to cultivate the field and then sow the seed and then trying to reap the crops and then you can eat. Then the Buddha say, I'm also a farmer, okay, like a Saddha Vijan, the Bhavoti, something like that. The seed is a Saddha. Okay, so that's the way the Buddha understand others' culture. And also that makes a sense. The teaching makes sense for the Brahmin, Brahmin as well. That's why the understanding the others' culture, the culture of the audience is very much important in sharing or in in propagating our Buddha's teaching to the different areas. Thank you.
Thank you, Pandi.
Thank you very much, Professor Chandamukha, for your answer. And I'm sorry that we still have two speakers, but anyhow, the three of them are professors presenting the first rector and second rector Sayadaw, ITBMU, and also the third speaker will be presenting the meaningful life and wonderful work of Oxford Sayadaw. To have the good connection, may I now invite Professor Sayadaw, Dr. Yusana. She is going to present life and endeavor of the most venerable Rector Sayadaw, Dr. Nandamala Piwansa, a prominent figure in propagating Buddhism in Myanmar and beyond. Before we come to the presentation, may I also introduce briefly biography of Sayadaw, Dr. Yusana. She is a lecturer at the SSBU, and she holds an MPhil and PhD in Buddhist study from University of Delhi, 2010 and 2015 under ICCR scholarship. She also obtained MA and BA diploma Buddha Dhamma from ITBMU itself, and where she is associate professor at the Department of Abhidhamma Study 2017. Her research interests cover Abhidhamma, contemporary psychology, neuroscience, in relation to emotion study and meditation. She teaches Abhidhamma at home and more extensively. In 2008, she assisted a renowned Abhidhamma scholar, the most venerable Rector Sayadaw, Dr. Nandamala Piwansa, in teaching Abhidhamma in Singapore, Malaysia, and also Europe, such as Germany and Netherlands. She is also co-founder of Sajatida Buddhist College, SBC, in Yangon, Myanmar, established in 2017 for nuns, and now extended to lay students as well. I just introduced briefly. Now, CRG Professor Dr. Yusana, the floor is yours. Please be informed that you have each 25 minutes, 20 minute presentation, then Q&A for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Venerable Moderator Sayadaw, for introducing me. And first of all, I would like to pay my profound respect to the Rector Sayadaw of Shan State Buddhist University, one of my esteemed teacher and inspiration in the academic journey. And I'm more than honored to have this opportunity to present on the life and endeavor of the most venerable Rector Sayadaw, Dr. Nandamala Piwansa, a prominent figure in propagating Buddhism in Myanmar and beyond, especially on the esteemed birthday of my esteemed teacher, Rector Sayadaw of SSBU. So kindly allow me to present Sayadaw's life. So here I try to include some pictures of Sayadawji because Sayadaw is rather than his personal title. In Myanmar we call Buedo. Dr. Nandamala Piwansa Sayadaw is more renowned as the most venerable Rector Sayadaw. In Myanmar we say Pamaukha Chau Sayadawji or Pa Chau Sayadawji. And as we can see here, there are 3 photos. The first one is Sayadaw holding the fan from the Sitagu International Buddhist Academy, which he held the rectorship in 2005. And the second one, Sayadaw is holding the fan with the logo of the International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University. Initially we call ITBMU, in which Sayadaw was appointed as the rector in 2005 till 2019. And the third photo represents Sayadaw holding the fan of the Institute of Dhamma Education, IDE, which he has founded in 2013 to share Dhamma knowledge to the learners from home and abroad. So from now on, throughout my presentation, let me represent Sayadaw Ji or refer to Sayadaw Ji as Rector Sayadaw Ji. Thank you. Then here, as can see here, Rector Sayadaw of the International Theravada Buddhist Missionary University. In Myanmar we call Apipisaya Theravada Buddha Tatana Bhutegadu, where Sayadaw has served as the 2005 till 2019. And Sayadaw is the ancestor of the first Rector Sayadaw, the most venerable Rector Sayadaw, the first Rector Sayadaw Ji, Sayadaw Dr. Silananda Biwamsa, whom my Dhamma brother and colleague, Professor Dr. Chanamukha has just presented. So there will be 6 main areas in my discussion. In section 1, I would like to touch upon the family background and turning point in Sayadaw's life as a novice and his achievements. In section 2, I would like to cover Sayadaw's monk's life and his talent as a scholar and author, including endeavor and effort at home and abroad. Section 3 would like to highlight the author and the biographer and the figures that Sayadaw admire. When we go to section 4, I would like to share as much as I can reach about Sayadaw's life as a preacher and the genres of Dhamma talk and how it became accessible to many at home and abroad, and how this influences and changes life of people in their practice so that he is respected by the monastic and lay people alike. And section 5 would like to focus on the establishment of the University of Wisdom Land, which we call Panya Bhumit University, where Sayadaw introduced and pioneered in introducing the self-study programs, and diploma certificates were conferred on 2,618 candidates, like a remarkable event in the Buddhist history in Myanmar. And last but not least, the position within the monastic order that Sayadaw Ji holds. So for the family background, I think most of you have already known that Sayadaw was born to a devoted Buddhist parents, U San La and Dorkin, on the 22nd March 1940. And in Myanmar calendar, it falls upon the full moon day of the bound in 1301 Myanmar era. So in a Myanmar tradition, because some of the listeners online may not be familiar with the Myanmar tradition, so I would like to introduce. So Myanmar people mostly are named after their day of birth. So being a Saturday born, Sayadaw was named Mauntonte when he was young. And he happened to be the second youngest among 12 siblings. And his native is also somewhat significant according to its name, Nyaunbin, so which we are familiar. Nyaunbin means banyan tree or bo tree, which is a symbol of enlightenment under which the Buddha, many Buddhas has attained enlightenment. And its location is in Senghu Township in the Medea, Mandalay Division, like about 30 or 40 miles or 60 kilometers away from the former royal capital, Mandalay. So as I say that Sayadaw was born to a dedicated family, all 6 brothers, including Sayadaw and his elder sister, joined the monastic order, and later parents also joined them. And father became a monk at an elderly age of 66, where he spent 7 vasa as a monk. And for mother, she has stayed as a nun for 15 years, and she joined at the age of 52 and died at the age of 67. And the elder sister lived up to over 90 years, so a gifted family indeed. So when we look back at the early years of Sayadaw's life, according to the Myanmar traditions, that Sayadaw was sent to monastic school at the age of 5. So like in customary for the children to be sent to monastic school in those Asian days, and Sayadaw started learning the basic skill, reading, writing, and calculation, etc. What is more, he was also taught and trained to learn Parita, which lay people are also very familiar with, and more importantly, Saddha, that is the Pali grammar, which Venerable Professor Chandamukha has taught a lot about. And again, Abhidhamma was introduced since that childhood days. And in Myanmar, we call that Sangaha or Tenjo, which is a shortened form of the Abhidhammatha Sangaha, a Pali primer used in monastic curriculum. And fortunately, Sayadaw has escaped twice from the life-threatening conditions like drowning when he was 6 and injuries from handling explosive items at the age of 8. And it says that when his elder brother retold the story, his elder brother happened to hold an object, something looked like something ball, and they were interested and they were attracted, but fortunately they didn't open it. It happened to be a bomb. And later when it was thrown into the river, it got exploded. So his turn in life started when he was 10, then when he was sent to Sagai with his elder brothers due to some unrest situations then. Then the first place in Sagai where Sayadaw stayed was the Vipassana monastery, but in Myanmar we call Jao, because in Sagai, where the sanctuary of the monks and nuns, the monasteries and nunneries in olden days are given the name of Jao. It means like a quiet place that is suitable or conducive to the learning and practice. And Sayadaw's first preceptor is the most venerable Sangin Sayadawji, who later became the supreme patriarch or the president of the Shuijin Nikaya. And as a novice, Sayadaw was given the title of Shinanda Mala. So I also have noted that in Sayadaw's speech at many times, he emphasizes on the invaluable guidance of the preceptor as a great support condition. In Pali we call Upanisaya Pachaya or Upanidaya Pisi. So there are two external conditions, that is the meeting the virtuous and the wise persons, which is one of the first among 38 blessings, and the second one, getting guidelines and advice from them. So Sayadaw has got both two external conditions. What is more, there are two internal virtues, that is morality or sila, and wisdom and panya. So when a person has all these conditions, a person will be successful for sure. So this is, I get this photo from the Bawa Kayi and Dhammasami by the author Nyatnan San, who has written about Sayadawji's biography. So learning as a novice. So as the family history goes, the 6 brothers joined the monastic order. So Sayadaw mainly learned from his elder brother, who is well versed in the Pali and Buddhist studies, that is the Venerable Narada. And under his close instruction, he established a solid foundation in the essential Buddhist texts, and on top of that, due to his higher IQ, then that enabled him to be successful to complete numerous examinations with notable competence. And that also make him pass higher levels without difficulty, which we can witness here. So since novice, Sayadaw has passed the basic Abhidhamma at the age of 13, and by 14 he passed Patamangye and Patamala and Patamaji successively. And it says that he passed 3 levels in 2 years, because as we can see here, according to the Myanmar calendar, a new year starts in April. So examination time happened to change. So in 1 year, they celebrate twice, and Sayadaw passed 3 levels in 2 years. And remarkably, like our Rector Sayadaw of Shan State Buddhist University, Rector Sayadawji, Sayadaw Unanda Mala as a novice also passed the Dhammacarya teacher's training examination when he was 16. So monastic tradition allows a novice to become a monk at the age of 20. So he became ordained as a higher ordination. Sayadaw received higher ordination in 1960. And in the years mentioned that we can see here, there are 3 degrees. And those who may not be familiar, let me explain a little bit. The first one, in 1963, Sayadaw got J.D. Yangana Abhivamsa. So that's why under Sayadaw's title, next to Sayadaw's title, Abhivamsa is added, and from Nanda Mala and Abhivamsa, Sayadaw's title became Nanda Mala Abhivamsa. So here we can see the first J.D. Yangana Abhivamsa and Sakya Siha Abhivamsa. So Sakya Siha Abhivamsa examination is held by Mandalay and J.D. Yangana by Yangon. And both examinations are very challenging, as the pass mark is over 75 or 80. So very rare to mark, and like once Venerable monks got Abhivamsa, then it is recognized that they are well versed and learned. On top, Sayadaw also passed the Sasana Daja Dhammacharya and Vinaya Pali Paragu, that is the government examination. Here, another notable fact is that at a younger age of 27, he also became a compiler of the Tipitaka Pali Nyama Dictionary. Then he was chosen based on the grade and accomplishment that he has gained in the aforesaid examination. So a rare opportunity to work with the scholar monks indeed. Here I have added 2 articles, Dhamma articles, which Sayadaw has authored with the pen name of Gomala. Right? So as we can see here, these are based on the Dhammabada article, right? And in Dhammabada it says that Piya do jayate soko, that is, love brings about sorrow. And the second article based on this one, to reduce the grudge. So because grudge never can gain peace, and which is still proved to be true till present day. So Sayadaw's talent and skill in writing and latent in preaching for everyone to understand through the choice of simple, up-to-date and effective usages. So if you have time, you can read Sayadaw's articles. Furthermore, Sayadaw is also skillful in composing the verses, various kinds of poetries and rhymes in Pali. And his keen interest in composing, addition to wide and deep knowledge on Buddhist teaching and general knowledge, including history, make his poems rhythmic, rich in vocabulary, and pleasing to listen. Then to pay back his gratitude, Sayadaw has composed the article of the 100 verses. And again, it is also remarkable that Sayadaw was a skillful biographer. And when we talk about a biographer in Pali, we call Atopati. But when Sayadaw has written about his great teacher, Guru, it became Gurupati Katha, so which he has touched upon, tried to make a very impressive work on his Sangin Sayadaw. Oh, sorry, here's the spelling mistake. Sangin Sayadaw, his preceptor, who was appointed as the 9th Supreme Patriarch of the Shwejin Nikaya, and later of the Shwehinda Sayadaw, about the 12th, who is the 12th Supreme Patriarch of the same Shwejin tradition. Sayadaw also have written about Syaji Dormalai, a lineage of a Samedodaya, from which many nunneries, including our teachers' nunneries, have derived. But what is important, notably, all these venerables and Syaji, whom Sayadaw has written, their biography has lived over 100 years. Yeah, that was also very significant. And here we have a good, Sayadaw got many good feedback from the authors of those days, including Ludu Ula. So like biographies of the prominent figures who shine like the sun and moon in the Buddha's dispensation, Buddha Sasana is very much helpful for the perpetuation of Buddha Sasana and for the younger generation to be cultured. What is more, it also encouraged us that such prominent persons were also like us once. And their virtue, concentration, wisdom, determination, and perseverance make them outstanding. So that's also very encouraging, and writing the biography can make many inspiration and motivation to the new generation. So here I have mentioned briefly about the Shwejen Nikaya, which is well-disciplined in monastic rules and accordingly gain the esteem, respect till nowadays. And Sayadaw's further study to Sri Lanka, and it started his journey abroad started in 1986. And in those days, life were difficult, but these days a lot more easier. And there were also many difficulties due to some unrest situations. And after diploma, the Kelaniya University was closed, and later Sayadaw has to move to Colombo and guided meditation and teach Abhidhamma. And when we observe the practice of Sayadaw, it just mentioned that 20 days practice. But this 20-day practice, based on the theoretical learning, give him crystal clear comprehension of the nature of the ultimate realities, mind and matter. So that is a lot helpful to make him understand and comprehend the explanations in the commentaries and sub-commentaries. And this proves that theoretical learning enables practitioner to judge right from wrong regarding the practice and save from being cheated. And here I would like to share one remarkable saying of Sayadaw. Sayadaw said that we need to learn Abhidhamma not to be cheated. That is based on the saying of one of the famous historians, Siaji, Dr. Danto, that we also need to learn so that we are not naive. So that saying also goes like this. So this clarifies the doubt of the saying, theory hinders practice. In Myanmar we say sa khande. It means when we learn, it hinders the practice and we won't be able to get enlightened. But it should be said that conceit hinder practice, not the theory hinder practice. Then his experience abroad. So about Sayadaw's teaching Abhidhamma in the Sri Lanka in 1987. And by 1989, Sayadaw has got master degree with a research paper, Buddhism and Vegetarianism. And from since then, we could reflect Sayadaw's nature. Okay, thank you. And his eagerness in research and deep study. For PhD, Sayadaw has translated Paramattha Dipani, a critique by the Lady Sayadaw, but finally he attained PhD from Magadha University in India in 2003. And Sayadaw started teaching Abhidhamma in the USA in 1994. So about the rectorship, as I have already introduced here at the beginning, so I won't go detail. When we look back at the scholarly achievement, both within Myanmar and beyond, what makes him significant is his deep understanding of Buddhist teaching and proficiency in Pali. Sayadaw really understands Pali like mother tongue. And I always hear from Sayadaw that when he reads Pali, he understands very clearly, and his understanding is clearer day by day and getting deeper and wider. That is really very impressive. So integration of the traditional and innovative pedagogical methods have rendered his teaching both resonant and impactful. And on top of that, his fluency in English facilitates access to the noble teaching of Buddhism for individual at home and abroad. And here I have touched upon assessment of Sayadaw's article in Pariyatti Education. Because there are many controversies regarding Myanmar Pariyatti education system, whether it needs to be modified or not, and whether English should be added as a subject or not. And cut the story to the short, Sayadaw say, Buddha's teaching should be the main focus of the syllabus, and English should be taught as like a summer school. But Sayadaw always encouraged to explore foreign languages as Dhamma can be shared effectively and directly when a person knows many foreign languages. About the significance of Abhidhamma. So when people ask whether they need to learn Abhidhamma for practice, then Sayadaw says, just as rice is essential for survival, Abhidhamma is essential to understand ourselves and our environment. So, just say, when we should learn Abhidhamma not to get cheated. Role as a Dhamma preacher. First, I say in early life, Sayadaw was a scholar, but our Rector Sayadaw of SSBU have corrected me. Not a former scholar, Sayadaw is still a scholar, but on top of that, Sayadaw was also prominent as a preacher. So, like Sayadaw's preaching and Dhamma talk changed life of many at home and abroad, and his innovative approaches to simplifying complex discourses and ability to elucidate profound concepts in Abhidhamma and meditation that make people special and easily accessible. So that's why he earned respect from both monastic and lay communities. And Sayadaw also give priority to contemplation in daily life rather than meditation just for a short time and neglected and not practicing regularly. So here I have just made a reflection on the genre of his Dhamma talks, and Sayadaw has touched upon a variety of topics, deep and wide, about the remarkable expression of the Venerables, about the life of the Buddha, Jataka story, and also about the many talks related to Vipassana and based on the Abhidhamma as well, as you can see here. And his admirers Sayadaw, that includes Sangin Sayadawji, his preceptor, another one the Wazo Sayadaw, and Nyao Shwe Sayadawji, and the last one is the Sayadaw Usilananda, the first rector of ITBMU. Yeah, and in between I have been include some slides that Sayadaw started to teach Abhidhamma in the East and West at a wider scale starting from 2004 onwards. And one of the reasons that our SSBU Rector Sayadaw asked me is that I got the opportunity to assist Sayadaw as a teaching assistant in 2007. Maybe that is one of the reasons that Sayadaw has asked me to represent Sayadawji. Last but not least, importantly, establishment of the University of Wisdom Land, Penyabhumi University. So as I have mentioned, over 2,800 certificates were conferred upon the diploma. So this is the logo of University of Wisdom Land, and here are the programs. Yeah, so some photos here of the Venerable monks, nuns, and lay people alike received the certificate, and they were very much inspired as Sayadawji himself conferred the certificate himself 3 consecutive days, November 16, 17, and 18, I think. And here, one of the remarkable candidates, a retired associate professor of Myanmar language, Siamaji Dormale, she is 90. She has also received a diploma certificate, and this December, Siamaji is ready to join the level 2 examination in BA. With her permission and through her daughter, then I include her photo. And Sayadaw is still doing his translation work right now on the Pokala Penyati Athakatha, the commentary on the designation of individual, which Sayadaw himself is typing. So that is the thing. And last one, really the last one. That position in the monastic order, that in 2018, Sayadaw was appointed as the vice president of the Shuijian lineage, and which his elder brother also held the same position. And in year 2000, Sayadaw was conferred the highest title, Abhidaja Maharatha Guru. The wives of the state held like a high flag. I think if our Rector Sayadaw of SSBU translate, it would have been a more beautiful translation. Yeah, so thank you so much, and I'm really grateful to our SSBU Rector Sayadaw and all the organizing committee for giving me this opportunity to talk about one of my most esteemed Sayadaw. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Siaji Professor Dr. Yusamanyani, for presenting and reflection of the most Venerable Rector Sayadaw, Dr. Nandama Piwansa. Okay, now I would like to, I'm sorry that we will move on to the next speaker. It's the time delay. Our next speaker is Professor Dr. Dinawin from the SSBU. He is going to present the 60 years old, 600 plus tasks, meaningful life and wonderful work of Oswald Sayadaw. And without taking much of our time, actually CRG, Professor Dinawin has a very high profile, and he has completed his BA in 1991 and MA 1997, PhD 2005 after that, and he started his career from 1998, and also he completed his postdoctoral research at Seoul National University, Korea, in 2008, and currently he is acting as an autonomous historian and independent researcher, teaching Buddhist history and modern Buddhism at Shan Buddhist University. And for this paper, he has also researched relevant literature regarding the Oswald Sayadaw, and he also interviewed family members, relatives, and student, follower, and disciple. So without taking your time, please, the floor is yours, Siaji.
Thank you very much for your introduction to the audience. Very good and auspicious morning, Sayadaw. And actually, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to our most Venerable Sayadaw, Oswald Sayadaw here, and also to all the Venerable Sayadaws and nuns and all the distinguished scholars, guests, and also ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, and I really appreciate to present these topics at this very auspicious ceremonies in honors of the 60th birthday celebrations of the most Venerable Sayadaw, Oswald Sayadaw. And I pay my homage to Sayadaw. The topics I'm going to present is 60 years old, 600 plus texts, meaningful life and wonderful works of the Oswald Sayadaw. Here I have to explain two things, that the usage plus sign here, as you all know, if we count, if Oswald Sayadaw has one text a day, there will be 365 texts per year. So we can count the exact text of his wonderful works. Because of that, I use the plus sign here. And also, in regard to the life, in my opinion, the life have two aspects. The first aspect is the communal aspects of life, and the second is his private life. So when we write about the life and works of Venerable Sayadaw, we can only approach the communal life of him, but we can approach to the private life or individual life of him. Only the Auspo Sayadaw can access and write his own private life. So that is my concept. And in this presentation, I have 4 sections, but I will only present the more important points within 20 minutes. So, as you all know, we have a number of work written about the Auspo Sayadaw. For example, we can find the professor here, Professor Lord Richard Harris and Geoffrey Bamford, and also his Professor Richard Combridge, and many scholars who have written about the Auspo Sayadaw. But my attempt is to present 4 core themes. The first one is that one can exactly know who and what he is only after uncovering why and how he endeavored. And the second is to prove the reflections on the life and work of Auspo Sayadaw with the core teachings of the Buddha. And the next one is to uncover the meaningful meaning behind his tireless efforts and the profound impact he has had on countless individuals. And the last one is to find the internal and external reason and means for the success he have received. And in doing so, I try to reflect his life and work in these Buddhist core teachings, which are the Dasa Paramiyo and Ariya Atengika Mega and Sila Spari Pinya and Sattari Pyamavihara and Sattari Ariya Dasani. So when we approach to his purpose-driven meaningful life, we can classify or divide into 6 decades, because he has already been 60 years old now, and we can divide his 60 years into 6 different decades, like this figure, and each decade has its own distinctiveness, which represent here. For the first decade, we can represent the commencements and settlements. And like in the like manner, each decade has its own representations or distinctiveness. We can see how much extent, by seeing this figure, how much extent he has systematically approached to the success and the dream that he have laid down. And I think this figure can be taken as a roadmap for the scholars, especially the Buddhist scholars who want to be to take the examples of the Auspo Sayadaw. And for the first decade, we can see each decade by separating the causes and consequences and his life's continuity and changes, and also his achievements and contributions and relevant significance. For example, Sayadaw himself requested his granny at the age of 6 or 7 to make him a novice. That lead to the future developments and to become a prominent Buddhist monk. Then these are the causes and for the later consequences, fundamental causes. And because of this, he started to God. In the first decade, he could pick himself first with the fundamental blessings of the 38 blessing. And as the contributions of this decade, he could give the pities and the first-hand aspiration for his parents and the first-hand inspiration for himself. As a significance of the first decades and also for the whole life, this decade, half of this decade was the only time he has been a layboy in his entire life. And similarly, in the second decade, we have also the causes and consequences of the second decade, in which he pleased his elder brother to send him to do the SMBU in Baku. That is also because of his own decision. And because of that, he has to engage with the wider environments and better education, higher insight and greater opportunities. And also because of these causes, he had the engagement with the smart junior and senior novice and monks of the diverse ethnic groups. And these are the fundamental for the latest developments. And as a continuity and changes, he remained as a novice. And in this period, he have to move several places. Because of that, this second decade can be represented as a movement and engagement. He have to move many places and also have to engage with many new things. And within this decade, he got the fundamental examination. He passes the fundamental examinations, and also he can, as a contribution, he can improve the rules of Shan Sangha in Myanmar. And as a significance, this period was full of examinations, and in which he decided to become as a teacher. And significantly, he started his English learning at the age of 17. That is, and as a first experience, he has a first experience of failure in Patamala, not Dhammasami here, and that also gave him the great inspirations for his future developments. And here I have shown a book and a photo. That is the photo and book that he got inspiration by seeing the Mahasi Sayadaw's photos, and also the book translated by the scholar. By seeing this, he got the motivation for future developments. And also in the third decade, he has also experience, I mentioned it. He has historically causes and consequences, also continuity and changes, also and achievement. Just for in this the decade, he have committed to fulfill every necessary tasks that will be for all the members, for all living beings in later period. But as a significant, Paul, he went to England. He went to Thailand, and also he went to Sri Lanka. He took a break for about 2 years, but in which he studies English for, and because he knew the importance of English and also other languages to fulfill his ambition. And also the fourth decade also represent the importance and achievement. It is, I think, this period is the most important decade for his entire life. If he failed at this stage, I think most of the things will be not like just right now, and in which, as a significance, he started to go to the West, and then he started his higher educational study. So, in which he could also founded the first Oxford Buddha Vihara in England. And as you all know, every action, including his verbal action, his bodily actions, and his mental action, can be summarized from AING to ZING. That is because of the consequences of the obtaining his PhD degree and his involvement in many international institutions, Buddhist institutions, and within which he had to take the many roles that I mentioned here. And I have to present very briefly, and also in the last decades, as you all know, in this decades represent the establishment and implement. How he established and implement can be obviously known here. And as the next stage, I divided his wonderful work into four sections. The first one is his learning, which is based on the Mitta, and the second is Guna-based teaching. I divided the next stage as Upekha-based services, and the next one as Bodhidharma-based research. So you can clearly see that as a Mitta-based learning, we can take a sample from his life that even for the Mitta Sutta, he studied 30 years to understand it. That he mentioned in one of his work about the 38 blessings. That is also to share it with others in scholastically, and also in the like manner he studied. For example, until today, he studied Buddhist scriptures, original Buddhist scriptures, and their commentary 1 day per week, and continue and study the English and other languages. All these are based on the Mitta, and because as the reason and technique for learning throughout his life are for the benefits of many, we can define it as his one of wonderful work as Mitta-based learning. And also Guna-based teachings, we can find, for example, he teach using photograph, but without saying anything. You can see his photograph. For example, at the launch, libraries, SSP wing clinics, and even in this Dhammas hall, you can find the photograph which show, for example, his post reading a book should teach the students or seer to read the books, the importance of the reading the books. And that is also one of the aspects that is for the guna-based teachings. And you can find many teachings, methods and teaching subjects that lead to the attainments of the sila, samadhis, and pinya for the many peoples and many followers. So that is why I, as one of his important wonderful work as a guna-based teaching. And actually, I have defined all these learning, teaching, research, and services in the scholastic way. But here I will show only very briefly. And also, we can say his research or his research as a mudita-based research, because here I would like to highlight that every effort done and the progress with mudita mindset is very important. And here it is to define that not only research, but also doing everything need to research for every effort, act, spoken, or thought based on mudita. So you can find every these verbal, mental, and physical actions of the Sayadaw within these frameworks of the mudita-based research. So, for example, even in the small pieces of his writing that have published in the recent published book, which in which you can clearly see how he thinks and writes about the past effort applying mudita mindsets. So in short, the definition is that working with a positive attitude is crucial, and finding or researching mudita in every single effort is essential for a meaningful life and his wonderful work. And the next is the importance of this importance. It is the service, and I have used as a upeka-based service. Sayadaw put himself first to serve others, choosing different work and hard tasks. And he has certainly upeka practice together with the other three immeasurable, which, as you can know, he has no discriminations without indifferencing any people, ignoring the ranks, role, position, race, colors, and religions, and so on. So, anyway, I define one of his wonderful work as upeka-based services, and here Benedict Anderson once pointed out that every nationality have their own ideological imagination based on nationalism.
Sorry, can you summarize in
yes,
1
sir.
minute?
Yes, sir. So, in my opinion, I think formally he might have the nationalism, but later he Kamendra form said that his work right now symbolize transnationalism. But I think he has been now as the next level, which is working for all living beings. And in regard to the question, that as I said before, it is very important to know someone by asking why and how question. So in this case, to know someone what and who he is more important to answer why and how question. In this case, we should divide and our thinkings and finding the internal and external factors of the why and how question. We should base on the individualism and also collectivism and also Buddhist dogmatism. Only when we can use these isms, we can find the real WH question, which I have here mentioned the details about the individualism. Without these three isms and without these facts, you can get the real meanings and real WH question about someone. So, in conclusion, I found that I have mentioned it in my paper to prove that his meaningful life and wonderful work with these Buddhist fundamental teachings and concepts. Within these 60 years, I have mentioned the 6 decades with its unique distinctiveness. But I hope there will be a very interesting the next month, and we have also hoped that to find the who and what he is through why and how questions by using the individualism, collectivism, and Buddhist dogmatism. So, and we believe that as he is coming from a good, as he's coming from is good, and as well as his working throughout Laya is better, and his going to Laya will be also the best. So we recommend that he trains and produces Auspus Sayadaw Phaya the second, Auspus Sayadaw Phaya the third, and Auspus Sayadaw Phaya the fourth. And we wish him to make his history himself with enlightenment. Thank you very much, Sayadaw. Happy New Year and happy new decade, Sayadaw. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Professor. Your presentation is really wonderful. 60 years or 600 plus tasks, as his approach is go by decades, 6 decades. And I just would like to say meaningful life, meaningful works about Sayadaw, and also amazing presentation. Thank you, and we sorry that we may have no question. And with this, I also would like to thank you, all the 3 professors, for your presentation on the Endeavours of Ashin Shilananda Bhivansa, the first Rector Sayadaw, and for Professor Dr. Yusana, the second Rector, who we are familiar with, the Rector Sayadaw, Dr. Nandamala Bhivansa, and also the Rector of SSPU. Thank you very much. Now we have no time. That I hand over to the MC. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you for handing over the stage to me, Venerable Dr. Binyaboka Heng Seng. I sincerely appreciate you for moderating this section 2 successfully. As we wrap up this enlightening section, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our speakers, moderator for their valuable insight and contributions. A big thanks as well to all of our participants for your thoughtful attention and for the engaging question and answers. Your involvement has truly made this session meaningful. Thank you again. Now is the time to proceed with the presenting certificates and souvenir to our paper presenters, moderator and MC in recognition of their outstanding contribution to this conference. Therefore, may I humbly invite Venerable Dr. Kamai Dhammasami, Rector Sayadaw, to come in front and confer the certificates. Venerable, please, may I invite our first speaker, Professor Dr. Jandamukha, to come and receive the certificate from our Rector Sayadaw. Sadhu, 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 to come and receive the certificate from Sayadaw. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Saji, please. Thank you very much. And may I also invite the last speaker, Dr. Dinawin. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. One more for the souvenirs. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. May I invite Dr. Dinawin to come and receive the certificate and the gifts from Rector Sayadaw. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And the gift. Sadhu, sadhu. May I also invite our moderator, Dr. Biyaboka Hung Sang, to come and receive the certificates and souvenir from our Rector Sayadaw. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. No, that's okay. I'm deeply thankful to Venerable Dr. Kamai Dhammasami for kindly awarding the certificates and the gifts.